let's go to our hotline and bring in
All right.
Marcel Reed, who obviously had a great weekend, and his football team continues to, in my opinion, probably be as complete as any team in college football with offense, defense, special teams. Marcel, how you doing, man? How you feeling after a great win?
I feel good. Feels good to be 8-0.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Your team, you grew up here in Death Valley. You know all about LSU. You heard it on Saturday about not many teams go in there. What was that like? The week, the build up. You knew what you're going. All the SEC stadiums are probably tough for you guys, but this one especially with the tradition. What was the message for you guys this week going into that environment and just being you and getting out of there with a win?
Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of been the same kind of message that not a lot of people in this country respect us, and we understood that we were 0-6 in Death Valley since joining the SEC, and the course of this program is starting to turn for us, and this was another marking point for that. So we just wanted everything. It was another game, another SEC game, prepared the same exact way we have been all season. But yeah, it obviously meant a little more to us, knowing the team and the rivalry and the history behind everything. But yeah, the team was prepared to go in and get the W.
Marcel, outside of obviously you're having a tremendous season and it's fun to watch, to be honest with you. Is there something different about this year's team that doesn't it just feels different when we watch you guys? In the past couple years, we come into the season, it's like, hey, A&M should be pretty good, and then you guys will trip up and it's like, maybe not, maybe next year. This feels different watching you guys play. What's the difference between this year's team, and you've been here for a couple years now, last year before, those teams?
Yeah, this team is we understand the difference between the pain we felt last year and what we don't want to feel this year. And Coach Troop always says something like, what's worse, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret? And we want the pain of discipline to be the one that hurts us the most, because we don't want to regret anything when we leave any field. And we just understand that walking off that field in Las Vegas last year is not the way we want to feel this year. So we came with a different edge and we worked hard. We did a lot of things that people don't see, but it's paying off right now, and we're going to continue to do it.
Marcel, I obviously know you since you were in elementary school. You've had that same, and probably because your dad gets a lot of credit, but I think your mom as well when it comes to your approach. And you being the quarterback of this team, what Joey just talked about, maybe some ups and downs. I was talking about it during the broadcast. You guys were up big. The stadium's empty. And you guys are on the sideline. You're making adjustments. There was no like trash talking. There was no like, bye, everybody. Like you guys were like locked in on the process or whatever it is. The defense is out there on the field. They're flying to the ball, hitting people. Like that's, I think, when Joey's talking about it, just feels different. I think it's Mike Elko, right? Second year of his culture. Maybe talk about your approach, even talking in this interview. You're a very focused young man. He's a very focused coach, and just how that all kind of translates into a team with a vision of not getting caught up in the outside noise, just doing your jobs. I mean, you guys look like you're on a mission right now.
Yeah, the word of the year has been finished for us. So we're not going to stop working until that fourth quarter is over, until the game's over. So, I mean, it doesn't matter how much we're up. We're going to try to, put our foot on their necks and keep it there until the game's finished and we can get on the road. But, yeah, we're just going out there and trying to play, championship execution football every week. And it doesn't matter what the clock says. We're going to keep going until the end of it.
Marcel, you guys, so when you got there, Jimbo Fisher was your first coach. Am I right? He recruited you to Texas A&M. And then Jimbo gets fired. As we get in this era now, that it seems like every morning when we wake up, there is a coach getting fired. And so you've been through this already at A&M, and you decided to stay. What made you stay at A&M? And then what advice would you give to these players that have to go through this? Like, what steps should they be thinking about as they transition from one coach to the next, and possibly even the opportunity to leave in that school? What made you stay?
Just worrying about my development, and wasn't too certain on who was coming in right after Jimbo got fired. But once I figured out Coach Oko and Coach Klein were coming in, I felt like I was in a good spot. I was still a freshman at the time, and I understood that I had time to work and grow. So I gave those two a chance and just let things work out. And you see how they are now. But for the kids who are in this type of situation, I think it's like the same message that I had. I mean, just work on, like, try to wait for yourself to be developed. It's not, you don't have to rush the process to try to get to where you want to go. If you sit behind and wait and watch the players and just kind of grow in your craft, whether you're on scout team or whether you're going with the ones or twos, it doesn't matter. Just go hard every day and wait your turn. Your name's going to be called and you better be ready.
It's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Where are you from?
Right here,
Listen,
baby.
Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Where do we get?
Look at this. Look at this.
If I get to draft a team, like I didn't, and look, I've seen you play, an amazing athlete. Me as a receiver, you like to run the ball. I'm not that happy about that. Throw me the daggone ball. But what I will say, that last answer, you don't get that anymore. You don't get, hey, wait your turn, develop yourself. If I was drafting a football team for college right now, you're my number one pick. I'll take you number one, but you got to come in with that message on your T-shirt. You got to rate that message.
All right, I got you. I'm gonna get it written. You want to print it out? I'll give you one too.
I love it. That's the way. That's who he's not saying this for the interview. He took over Zach's team as a freshman in high school, and just played the same way.
Wow.
Didn't blink. That's just who he is. You talk about Craver and Concepcion coming over, because I think in the past you guys were always a team that would try to establish the line of scrimmage. Those two guys, not just their abilities, Marcel, but they seem to have kind of that dog mentality out there where they block, they catch the ball, they're looking to go after the catch. Just the total package is there, not just your abilities, but I think the guys around you.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioning them turning and blocking after the catch and being so quick to do that, it's a credit to our offense and what we have, going for us. We have a thing called Men of the 10, and Men of the 10 is, the 10 people who don't have the football in their hands and what they're doing while the play's still going on. So we actually, give out awards for that every week, and we make sure it's known that we're going to be the hardest working team, and we're going to play to the end of the whistle every single play. So if you don't have the ball in your hands, you're trying to find somebody to block, you're running down the field. We have something called an effort, to where you're, giving your max effort to try to block somebody. And it's the men means max effort needed every single play. So credit to the offense in general for that. But yeah, those two guys come in with tremendous energy every day. Casey's a hard worker. I told a story where I wasn't even in town yet, coming back from break over the off season, and he's texted me already trying to get throws in. And I told him, I got you when I get back to College Station. But that was right when he got here. So he was ready to work immediately. Mario Craver's been amazing for us. I mean, he's only a sophomore, and he's one of, I feel like, our biggest leaders on offense. He's always trying to get the team going. And, even on his non-best days, he's still trying to encourage everybody and let them know that, we still can continue to improve no matter how bad we're doing in practice or what the score is in the game if we're down. So, like, things like that is really huge for our offense and our team in general. But, those guys bring a different fire to the team.
Marcel, have you ever heard of strength of record? You know what that means, strength of record? That's one of the things. You have any idea what that is?
Not too much. I mean, I've heard it, but
let me tell you what it is, and then I got a question for you. So strength of record is what would an average top 25 team do versus the schedule that you've played, and to get to the record that you are. You know what I mean? So if they look at your schedule, your record, 8-0, what would an average top 25 team do against that schedule? Trivia question. Who do you think is ranked number one right now in strength of record?
I think it's us.
It's pretty good.
So he does know a little bit about it.
I don't know too much, but I've seen it.
I was just checking to see if you pay attention to that stuff at all. As us experts over here, as we look at the rest of your schedule, and we see you got to take a tough trip to Missouri, you got South Carolina, Samford, I don't actually know where that's located, and then you got to go to Texas.
I got in trouble for that
in a huge rivalry game. Us experts look at that schedule and say, hey, you can pencil A&M into the SEC championship game because that is a very doable schedule. Have you looked down the road to see what you got left and said, hey, there's only 2 teams left in the SEC that don't have a loss in conference? Have you looked at the rest of this and said, I agree with the experts?
I guess so. I mean, I believe we can beat any team that we're facing. So, you know, I don't really look too deep into it. I'm trying to focus on the team that's next week, and that's Missouri.
There's the answer.
But, you know, obviously we have, you know, 4 more teams ahead of us. So, you know, get Missouri done, then we can focus on the next one.
Marcel, that's an interesting question that he asked because it's real. I mean, you guys are 18 to 22-year-olds. You all have phones. You know, you got a professional approach, but all it takes is guys that take their eye off the ball. And I think Coach Saban used to call it rat poison because all the compliments sometimes are worse than no one respecting you. No one respecting you is easier to get motivated collectively. You start getting a lot of pats on the back, as you know, that's dangerous. I'm just wondering what you can do other than stay in the process. What do you do as a leader of this team where you can have so much in front of you? How do you block all that noise and just even the good noise? How do you block that out? Just, I guess, go to work?
Yeah, I mean, we got to come to work with the same energy every day. Obviously, everybody on the team sees it, but you got to understand, you know, none of this stuff matters until it matters at the end of the season. So we still got work to do, and you know, the job's not finished.
Yeah, we know you got to. Joy, you got one last one. He's got to roll to a.
Yeah, I'm good, man. It was great talking to you. We appreciate it, and hopefully we get you back on after you guys run through the rest of the schedule and get these next 4 wins.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
Yep. Tell your parents, hey, stay healthy, man. We'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Yes, sir.
See you, buddy. Yep. Well, that's about as classy as you get, boys.
I tried to trip him up a little with the look ahead, and you could see the laugh because it was kind of like, I know I'm not supposed to look ahead, but you're absolutely right. You can't not look ahead.
Well, if you do, honestly, Missouri, they just lost their starting quarterback. The backup did a nice job, but
he actually did.
That game's got a different feel, even though it's on the road. But when you are the hunted, every game's a challenge in November.
Absolutely.
Because you know, you go into that game, you're gonna win. Their quarterback's down. That's hard. But
they look different though. They do. And honestly, now that I've spoken to Marcel Reed, I actually feel better about their team. Because when in the world have you heard a quarterback in today's culture say, wait your turn, develop yourself for a year or so? Like nowadays, the freshmen walk in with the clock, the stopwatch has started. As soon as they walked in the door, start the watch. If I'm not on this field in a year, then I gotta go. So yeah, that's good. I enjoyed talking to Marcel.
Yeah, and like I said, he's gone to elementary school with my kids all the way back, and we do pickup line, and he was always really tall as a youngster, but you know, probably as good a baseball player as he was football, probably a better basketball player as he is football. Everyone thought he'd go hoops, you know, going through elementary, middle school, and then in high school he started to become, like I said, he was a starting quarterback as a freshman at a really respected program, and he played the same way: 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, never high, never low, even keeled through the good wins, through the tough losses. Same guy. Dad is a great coach. Mom is all about it, way involved in his life. Just comes from really good people who have invested a lot of their time into him. And I think that's what you get, is a super humble, super motivated, and a guy that's got great perspective, even though he's in his first year, really, truly as a starter. And by the way, Colin Klein, you remember Colin Klein as a player at Kansas State?
Yep.
Who I think in this coaching carousel, I think he's going to end up being a head coach soon. I don't know if it's going to be this year, but he needs to be talked about with the plan he's put together around Marcel Reed. They had an entire offseason to build it around his skill set. Last year, he kind of came in middle of the year. Whole offseason, you bring in those transfer receivers. You load up against their powerful running game because they got all 5 linemen back from last year. So you got continuity there. They can stone you at the line of scrimmage. So now you're defending them. Okay, let's get our safeties down. Really? Now I got Marcel Reed. You play man coverage. First touchdown against LSU. You don't have spy on him. Gone. He's taking it to the house. Or get the ball to these receivers that can do so much. This is the first touchdown. They got their backs turned to him. Harold Perkins loses him in the spy. There's no one left. Everyone's got their back to the quarterback. You don't want to do that against this guy. And okay, now you're like, we can't let Marcel Reed and these receivers beat us. Let's drop back. Now you got to deal with their running game. So I think that's what great teams do at any level, but that's what Colin Klein has this year is you want to get into a ground and pound, we'll do that. You want to load up against that, we'll throw it. So they're going to be a tough out, not just in the SEC. They're going to be a tough out all year.
We've had this conversation for weeks now. Who do you feel good about getting to the championship game in the SEC? Well, it's starting to clarify itself.
It feels like A&M and who they're going to play. I just want to say to Marcel and to others, other players, I've never seen so many comments. We can see your comments, folks that are on here listening. And by the way, just want to give everybody a shout out who is subbed and joined the Field Pass. Really appreciate, Joey and I appreciate your support. Field Pass is our membership program here on YouTube. It gives you access to custom Peter emojis and helps you stand out in the chat. So if you're watching on X or Instagram, you can hop over to YouTube if you'd like and join in. But what really stood out is you and I are sitting there going, did he really just answer that question like that? And almost every question he answered, every person, there's Ohio State fans, Vanderbilt fans, Florida fans, LSU fans, all over the board. They're like, I liked Marcel Reed, watching him play. He's got game. But after watching this interview, he's become my favorite player in the country. And it's one after another, after another, after another. Ohio State fans, I don't know a lot about Marcel Reed. Holy cow, what an impressive young man.
I picked him number one. So
I know, number one pick. But I'm just saying,
he's my number one draft pick.
It's unanimous that it's amazing how this new world of having an agent or being in a hurry to get to the pot of gold or whatever, how it allows guys to kind of get off track and lose what really matters in your development. He was very like, hey, if you're sitting right now to guys out there that are waiting their turn, it's okay. Go do the scout team. Work as hard as you can. Your number's going to be called one day. And when it does, you got to be ready. Like no one talks like that anymore.
That is family. That is upbringing. You know what I mean? Like that is we're here for a purpose, and our purpose is bigger than just football. Because the other part of that, and we don't normally talk about with these young guys, is hey, football ends for all of us. No matter how long you go, football ends. And then what?
And
do
how
you do
many years
after that?
did you play in the league?
I went 16 in the league, and and football ends.
And you're saying that, dude. You're saying football ends. You played 16 years.
Yeah, and you
First
get a
round
chance
draft
to
pick.
Huh?
First round draft pick.
Yeah.
The dream that they all want. You lived it. And
That's all right.
If there's anybody they should listen to, it's a guy like this.
And it's like when you see guys like him, you're like, that kid's gonna be successful at everything.
Whatever he does.
When he's done, he's going to be. That was fun. I didn't know anything about him. You know what I mean? I knew he's a quarterback, knew he's a great athlete, seen him run. Now I'm a fan. I'm like, man, I hope this guy does well.
How about his game though? I mean, he is